According to Forbes, the 2019 Super Bowl was the most viewed event of that year, boasting 110 million viewers during the event and going up to 114 million viewers during the halftime show. What's especially interesting about these numbers is the fact that 50% of its viewers said that they only tuned in for the halftime show. Why is that? Advertising and marketing make up a $1 billion industry, and as ad space gets more and more valuable, companies are going to get more creative and maybe even more subtle in how it is that they advertise to us consumers. I'm a graphic design major, so advertising and consumer are right up my alley. It's something I've always been interested in, and as I've done more research, I've been able to uncover 3 different ways in which companies are able to advertise to us. The 3 avenues that they use that I'll be talking about are the 3 modes of persuasion, how they appeal to our 5 senses, as well as branding. In regards to the 3 modes of persuasion, the first I'll be talking about is logos. Logos is the appeal to logic, and it uses information such as statistics. A common example that we always hear is hand sanitizers being sold to us because they kill 99% of germs. The next one is pathos. Pathos is the appeal to emotion. An infamous example of this are the ASPCA commercials in which we see the neglected animal and their sad music and just all those sad feelings are being drawn out of us. The third of which is ethos. Ethos is the appeal to ethics and credibility, and oftentimes this is employed by introducing someone with credibility to help persuade us. An example of this is when you hear about medicine that's the #1 doctor recommended medicine for that ailment. Now that we've learned a little bit about the 3 modes of persuasion, we can go on to talk about the 5 sensory appeals. So the 5 sensory appeals are basically how companies appeal to our 5 senses, and that's smell, taste, hearing, sight, and touch, of course. And Martin Lindstrom says that really when it comes to advertising campaigns, there's only 2 ways that they can affect us, and that's hearing and sight. Well, what we hear and like how we see the poster or the commercial. However, brands, to make a full experience, to make us have that experience, they have to appeal to the 3 other senses, and they do this using various ways. A very common way you can see this is when you walk into a store. Immediately there's going to be a certain type of music playing, there's going to be the way that the products are displayed, the way that even just the employees are trained to speak with you. All of those things make up for the sensory experience that you're going to have with that product. And advertisers really try to make sure that they design these experiences such that when you go in and you're buying a product, it's not just about the product that's being bought, but rather it's about the experience that you're having buying that product. And if there's a positive experience that can be had, then it's all for the better for them and for you as well. It can be beneficial both ways. So the third topic that I'd like to talk about is branding. And branding is defined by Seth Godin as the set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that taken together account for a consumer's decision to choose one brand over another. So to promote these ideas, companies will make careful choices regarding their copywriting, their visuals, as well as how they communicate with their customers. And the formal ideas of branding can be traced back to post-World War II when the economy was booming, and marketers looked around at who was buying things and noticed that there was a larger buying power that had just emerged, and that was teenagers. One company that was able to capitalize off of this was the 17 magazine. 17 magazine was aimed at 13 to 19-year-old girls, and their goal at the time was to inspire and educate these young women so that they could be, just upright and model citizens. They did this by presenting stories, presenting photographs and photo shoots, recommending styles. They were able to create this culture around 17, and that culture kind of stemmed from the way that they interacted with their customers and how their customers interacted with them. Because it's so crucial to success in today's economy, companies spend millions upon millions of dollars to successfully advertise to us. They do this using very lucrative and oftentimes very subtle techniques that I've covered today. These techniques include the use of the three modes of persuasion, the 5 sensory appeals, and as well as how they brand themselves. And after this speech, I hope you'll be able to understand better how it is that companies market to you. And I hope that maybe during next year's Super Bowl, you can be very hyper aware of how these companies are trying to get into your pocket. And see you.